Yo, Exiles, Augiesaint here, and welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I want to talk to you guys about the Minion Witch, especially leveling one up. It is the most relaxing, easy task I have ever gone through the campaign on the Witch. The minions are so busted, and once you get Arsonist, it's just over. They pretty much just burn everything down and melt the world around you. It's really, really awesome and fun, and I wish I played this sooner, but we just couldn't pull ourselves away from the Deadeye. Because we do like, to go fast, and Deadeye does excel at that. It is still faster than the Witch, but the Witch is just so much easier and chillaxing. I've pretty much been playing with one hand on the mouse the whole time, the other hand has been on my coffee cup. Or you could place that hand wherever it is you may want to place it. The Witch lets you live out those fantasies. You just need one hand on the mouse and you cast Flame Wall, and then your Raging Spirits kill everything, your Arsonists kill everything, and later on you can even get yourself some clerics to heal them or make them revive faster. It's beautiful. It's so easy. As you guys can see there, the bosses are just melting away. All of those bosses are cruel versions, by the way. That's how pretty much every single boss went from the beginning of the game. Maybe not the very first boss because we didn't have Arsonists. I think you get Arsonists at around like level 4. Once we got them though, everything just completely melted away. So I'm going to give you guys a quick little intro and share with you guys all the skills and stuff that I use going all the way up to maps. We just got to maps today on stream, so we're going to be playing her now for the next couple of days, and then we're going to get like a min-max build of her going further into maps. But this build will just get you from start to maps as easy as possible with as little deaths as possible. So let's go ahead and look at everything we have to share with you guys in the video. First of all, let's have a look at some skills. I can actually better show you guys with the skills over here. Just to give you a quick little overview, initially you want to pick yourself up the skeletal sniper, and you'll most likely have yourself a mace, or a scepter. That's going to give you the skill Skeletal Warriors. If you have this on, you're going to automatically summon a few Skeletal Warriors. So then with that, or using a scepter and getting the Skeletal Warrior minions, you don't need to actually get them as a gem or as a skill. So you just pick up the Skeletal Sniper, and as soon as you get Arsonist, you just say goodbye to Sniper and you say hello to Arsonist, and this is going to carry you all the way. We're still using Arsonist right now, and we're probably going to use it well into mapping until maybe later on we can change over to some Skeletal Brutes, or I don't know what the other one is, the Storm Mage. We'll have to try those out later once we get further into witching and stuff. But for now, easy peasy, pick up the Skeletal Arsonist. That's the only thing you're really going to be using. And then the other thing we like to use is the Pain Offering, because that puts like one of your minions on a spike and it gives you a little buff to all your other minions around you. This I only really ever used on bosses. I pretty much never use this. Sometimes if you're standing around on your board, you can go ahead and chuck it up and it's going to boost your minions and stuff like on elite packs or anything like that. But that's pretty much it. So auto skills, Skeletal Arsonist, Pain Offering, and then that's honestly all you need. You can literally clear the game with those two skills, and obviously with the help of Flame Wall and everything else I'm going to show you guys now, and what like supports we put into them, just showing you guys. And then Cleric we did pick up eventually as well. I'm still debating whether I actually want these Clerics or not, or just dropping them to get another Skeletal Arsonist, because if you guys don't know how Witch works, you are like reserving Spirit to actually summon your minions. So let's have a look at that and I'll show you guys how it works. If we look here at our Skeletal Arsonist, there's like this little plus and minus. Each one of them reserves a little bit of spirit. I believe it tells you on the gem there, reserves 39 spirit. Now that is lowered because we have a talent tree, or a point in the talent tree that's going to reduce the cost of our minions and stuff. So that's why we can actually have that many summon. So we have 8 Skeletal Arsonists right now, and I believe we have 2 Clerics, Skeletal Clerics. We have 2 of those active. We do have Grim Feast active as well. This is giving us like energy. This I only just put this on now for mapping. Don't worry about this while you are leveling early on. I'm going to show you guys every single things like support gem in a second. I'm just giving you guys a quick little overview of how the minions work. And as you can see there, so that's all the minions we have. So let's start it out with the Skeletal Warriors, since this is what you'll be getting from your scepter. Like we said before, you don't have to go ahead and actually socket this, but you can put in support gems to help them out. So the support gems I would recommend for the Skeletal Warrior is going to be blind, just blind enemies, because they're going to go in, they're going to be like your front line. Blind enemies, maim them, so they're going to be slower, as well as reduce their evasion, so you can hit them more often or easier. And then we also have Last Gasp here. This is just going to make the minions last a little bit longer, because it says their minions from supported skills die 4 seconds after their life is reduced to 0. So you could run those just to make them last a little bit longer, even after they do die. They don't instantly die. I think maybe I actually want to put this on the Arsonist later once we have some more slots, but for now, we're just running it on the Skeletal Warriors. Then we move down. Raise Shield is only because we have a shield equipped. We don't ever really use it. Bone Blast is from our second weapon set, so ignore those completely. And now the Summon Infernal Hound. This you'll get automatically once you ascend into the Infernalist. The Fire Witch, I'm not sure which witch, there's a lot of witch in that sentence, but whichever witch you decide on going, This is what you get for free, and then also these sockets unlock as you level up. I believe we just got the next socket now at like level 60 and like 65 or somewhere around there. But yeah, these just unlock with levels, so you don't have to actually put any lesser jewelers and jeweler gems and stuff on it to actually give them more supports. The supports we're using on this is fire exposure, just inflicting fire exposure on enemies, because the dog is going to run in there and burn all the enemies, and when he burns them, you can give them fire exposure, and then your arsonist is going to do more damage. Then we have meat shield on there just to give him a little bit more maximum life, because he's pretty much just our debuffer. He's going to run around, debuff enemies, and draw aggro. We have strip away there to increase the exposure effect applied by him. And as well, we have elemental army. This I just put on now because we just unlocked another slot, so I put that in to make him last a little bit longer, as he's going to get elemental resistances to all of the elements. And the skill gems for these as well, the supports are like from left to right most beneficial, so you want to get them left to right is the priority while you are leveling up. And then moving down to the bread and the butter, the skeletal arsonist. These are what's going to carry you through the whole game. Even right now, just getting to mapping. As soon as we got to mapping, level 66, we hopped into a tier 6 or 7 map and we just blew through it. It wasn't super fast, but it was pretty easy to get through it. There was no struggle at all. So the support gems we're using on them is scatter shot, very important because it's going to make them shoot more explosions or like more grenades. They're going to toss more grenades. And then we have martial tempo just to increase their attack speed, so they throw more grenades faster. And then we have fire infusion to give them more extra fire damage with them doing less cold and lightning. But since they don't do any cold and lightning, this doesn't really give us any negative at all. And then one little thing we are going to use with the skeletal arsonist is flame wall. I forgot to cover this with the gems, but flame wall is very important because you put down the flame wall, and if it's between the arsonist and the enemy, when the projectile of the arsonist goes through it, it's going to end up doing more damage. So you want to make sure you are always placing flame walls between them or on them, just around the skeletal arsonist, so they can actually get that buff, and it is a substantial amount more of damage. So definitely make sure you are throwing up the flame walls on that. You don't have to level this up. You can leave this at level 3 just to cost 3 mana. We're not using this for damage at all. We're just using it to boost the damage of the skeletal arsonist. However, it is pretty important to get the support gems. We have Fortress over there for less damage on hits. Doesn't matter. Like I said, the damage doesn't matter at all. But it is going to make the supported skills in a circle. So you can pretty much just right click this. I have mine on right click wherever you put it on your keybinds or your control binds. You can just click this onto your minions and it'll place a flame wall right around them, so they can shoot 360 degrees and annihilate everything with their enhanced grenades. And then moving on, we have arcane tempo just to make this cast a little bit faster because it is a pretty slow cast. And then we have spell cascade because it's going to summon 3 of them all in like a big line. So you can pretty much just right click this and it's going to put them everywhere. So if you have like a whole lot of arsonists later on, like we do have 8 arsonists right now, it's going to make sure that it covers all of them because there'll be 3 big circles of flame wall everywhere. And then moving on to Pain Offering, like I said before, this we only really use on bosses and maybe elites if you're bored. And the only thing we're running here is Expanse to give it more area of effect. It does add a little bit of a cooldown to it. Then we are using Persistence as well to increase the duration. So those are just nice there to, give it a more area of effect. So it's going to hit more of your minions and it's going to last a little bit longer. Chuck it up when you feel like, they've got nothing else to do and you want to sacrifice a minion, because you have to sacrifice this on a minion. I usually try and do this on some of the skeletal warriors in the front line, so we can actually have the mages all up in the back. Well, I say mages, but I mean the arsonists. Try not to do it on the arsonist, although it doesn't really matter if you just, spike up one arsonist to give all of your other ones a lot of damage. It's going to give you a lot of damages when you get to the boss. Then moving on to Raging Spirits. Now this is actually a spirit skill. This is not a skills gem. I was actually looking, my chat was telling me get Raging Spirits, and I was like, where the frick is it? I couldn't find no skills. It is a spirit gem, so keep that in mind. It does reserve spirit, but it is really strong. And see, it only reserves 30 spirit, so we are giving up 30 spirit for that. So it's pretty much just almost one arsonist, not quite. I think an arsonist is like 39 spirit. But as soon as you get this, pick this up, it's going to spawn off of your flame wall. So that's another reason we are using the flame wall to proc the raging spirits as well as to buff the arsonist. But this is just going to summon a bunch of raging spirits and they're going to charge towards enemies. And they're also invulnerable, so they can't get killed. I think they do have like a timer, or they time out, or maybe they stay near the fire or something. But yeah, I think they have like a little duration. But anyway, they are invulnerable. You can only have 10 of them up at a time. So no matter how many times you spam firewall, you only like max out at 10 of them. But they do quite a bit of damage, and extra damage is, I mean, we're not going to say no for extra free damage. We have execute damage on them so that they will do more damage to lower health enemies. We have fire pen on them, just to, penetrate the more fire is, because they are going to be doing fire damage. You can see their minions that convert 70% of physical damage to fire damage. And then the last one we have is Feeding Frenzy, just boosting their damage even more. I need to play around with actually putting Fire Pen or the Feeding Frenzy onto the Arsonist once we actually get some more slots. I'm not sure what we're going to run on these guys, but if you were to 5-link anything later on, I could probably say that the Arsonist will probably be the most like biggest buff or gain you could get from this. Although we don't know yet because we just started mapping today with this. So the next couple of days we'll have another guide out with like the updated, which with the help of chat, you know, helping us out and giving us some updates and things. And then lastly, well, flammability is what we did use as well. Also, we only really use this on elites and bosses. Basically just debuffs the target to take more fire damage, running hide and curse just to increase the effect of it. So stronger effect there. Support skills have more area effect again to increase the AoE of it. Then we also have inspiration there just to have it cost a little bit less because it is pretty expensive, especially if you level this up. You can see at level 7 this is already costing 74 mana, so it's quite expensive. And then Grim Feast, this basically just gives you little energy shield things that you can pick up. And this we only, like I said, we only really put this on right now. This does reserve spirit. You don't need this at all while going through the campaign. We literally only just turn this on now for maps because for maps we're going to need more survivability because we need to stay alive while our minions go ahead and kill everything. But yeah, Grim Feast, if you are maybe struggling earlier on, you don't have any gear or something, you could go ahead and, you know, put that on. You're going to lose one Arsonist, but it's up to you if you want to, or if you need this, so to say. Although we didn't really need this at all, and our gear was pretty bad all the way through. Moving on, Skeletal Cleric. This again, we only now just kind of started using these. You don't need these at all. Just use the extra spirit and summon yourself some more Arsonists. Unless you have like some weird amount of spirit, we are left with like 20 spirit and you can't actually summon another Arsonist, then you may as well go ahead and summon a Skeletal Cleric. These guys are going to heal, and I believe they revive your minions as well. We're running Ingenuity on them for cooldown recovery on their buffs and things, or their heals for the minions, as well as, you know, restoring your minions. And then I just put their +1 Minion Master because I don't know what else to put on there. We're kind of still playing around with this as well. So I just put this on there. Maybe it'll boost their heal or make it cool down faster. I'm not quite sure what it's actually achieving, but it is, you know, leveling it up. So it's got to be better than what it was. And then lastly, chat told me to try this out. I haven't actually tried this out yet myself because we've ended the stream. I came to make the video, but Detonate Dead, we're going to start using this now. I don't know when you can actually get this, at what level, but apparently it's really strong. I'm going to go ahead and play around with this now. We did not use this at all while leveling. I just put this on right now when we actually finished the campaign. And Control Destruction is what we got on there, as well as Spell Echo. We're going to try this out later in mapping to see how that actually goes. So the mandatory things you really need, just as a quick recap, get yourself Skeletal Warriors coming from your Scepter, and then use Blind, Maim, and Last Gasp. And then we're also using the Infernal Hound. This is if you do choose to become an Infernalist, which is your Ascendancy. Fire Exposure, Meat Shield, Strip Away, and Elemental Army, depending on, you know, like what sockets you have. And then the most important is the Skeletal Arsonist. You're going to run Scatter Shot, Martial Tempo, and Fire Infusion on them. And then Flame Wall as well is pretty important with Fortress, Arcane Tempo, and Spell Cascade. And then everything else is kind of optional. I guess the Raging Spirits are very important as well. Execute, Fire Pen, and Feeding Frenzy. And then Flammability with Hide and Curse, Magnified Effect, Inspiration, just a buff, Pain Offering, Expanse, and Persistence. Again, just a buff if you need it. Everything else is completely optional, and we're just messing around with that. So those are the gems and the support gems. We covered that. Now let's quickly have a look at the talent tree. Basically, you just want to go up here and into the talent tree and get as much minion stuff as you can. You can literally just type in minion, and then you can see all of the nodes that, you know, pop up and show you a bunch of stuff. So what we did for early leveling is we came straight up to Raw Destruction, and then we went down the left of here to grab all of these Deadly Swarm, just minion damage increase on these. So we prioritize getting these early. You might have to actually change some of these over to strength because some of the support gems need a little bit of strength. I have picked up that strength on my gear, so I don't need it anymore on the tree. You just refund it and change it over to strength depending on like what you need. And then after grabbing the Deadly Swarm, we came back up to go this way, Power of the Dead, all the way up through here. And we came up to grab these, the little bit of health, as well as the more damage, movement speed, attack speed. Now this, I'm not sure if we need this accuracy. We have 2 accuracy nodes there. I think I might actually drop these pretty soon, but those, we did pick those up because these are all minion damage increase. So you could path up here and then grab, like, just come down the middle to try and get all of these and then grab the damage. Then the life of there, I guess it doesn't hurt since, you know, we are close to it anyway, so you might as well pick it up. And having your minions last a little bit longer isn't that bad. And then we come over to this side, we start pathing back up again to grab Crystalline Flesh as well as Growing Swarm. And then after this wheel over there, we came and path up this way just to grab some more crit chance and minion damage, mainly just for the minion damage. But since we were so close to those, we picked those up to try them anyway. And then we actually came up this way and I went straight over there. And then I prioritized going down the left to grab this node over here. I feel like this is really, really strong. Have a look at this. This is minion damage, minion damage, minion damage. This is all minion damage. But then this over here, your minions have increased max life. Your minions have elemental resistance to everything. and over here your minions deal 25% increased damage. So we prioritized getting that ASAP. And then after that, we came back again. We went up this way to grab these things over here. So there's the reduced reservation on the minions, grabbing all of this damage and AoE on the side. And eventually we're going to probably come down this tree over here and grab all of these healing things over here as well. But right now our minions seem to last long enough anyway, so we just got for more damage. And then personally, we actually came down this way for this shield node, because that over there increased 1% damage per 1% chance to block. We currently have a 50% chance to block, so we're going to get 50% increased damage. And I'm going to assume that stacks to our minions as well. Plus, we are getting a ton more of block chance with all of these. So I'm definitely going to grab this. And then I think I'm going to grab this as well, increasing armor. And this node over here is kind of similar to the node on the Deadeye that increases your armor, or like the armor you get from your body armor. And this is going to increase the armor and the energy shield. So we are going to be stacking a ton of energy shield with this build. So I think this is going to be a really valuable node to go ahead and pick up, as well as with all these previous ones, also increasing armor and maximum energy shield. So that's all the skill points we have available to us at level 69. We also do have all the skill points from the quest. You see we have 24 skill points. So that is all the skill points. And then what we do with the tree later on, I'm not quite sure yet, because we're going to still experiment quite a bit. But I think we're just going to try and get as much damage out of it as we can. And maybe we actually might run Chaos Inoculation. I believe it's somewhere around here. Reduces your HP. Is that it over there? Yeah, Chaos Inoc. So I'm not sure how we're going to get there, but we might end up running this later. Maybe we'll pass through here somewhere and then grab like Chaos Inoculation. But that's going to be much later on into the builds. Life for right now, this is what we're running, and this is what you guys should focus on while leveling. Come up, grab all the minion stuff you can early, like all these wheels and things. And then this one over here is really big. I feel like this one's really, really strong. That one there is pretty good. And then this one as well is really good with the shield, which we will be using. And then that's what I want to speak to you guys about lastly, since this is just a leveling build. I'm not going to give you guys a full breakdown of gear to get as, like an end game. But definitely what you want to focus on is try and get yourself plus all to minion skills. Now you can get this on your weapon. I believe you can get it on the helmet as well as the amulet. But it might be expensive while leveling. We only now just got this scepter. We actually got it for 1 exalt off someone from our chat. So they bought it for 1 exalt. So we had to keep it fair and show you guys, because I'm going to do another video, like an early end game video, to show you how cheap it is if you prioritize right and get like a cheap build, just getting into maps. I think we can build this character out for like 30 exalts, and then we'll have like a cheap character getting into mapping. Obviously this was 1 exalt there, great example. I did pick up a chest for 3 exalt, which I can't actually use yet if I remember where it is. I believe it's this chest over here. Energy shield, life spirit, and also has fire and lightning resistance. It's a little bit of lightning rays, but this is really nice. Level 70, I picked this up for 3 exalts, so pretty cheap. Actually, I think it was 2 exalts. So far we spent 3 exalts on this, the weapon and this, and then we're going to go ahead and build it out. But what you want to focus on anyway is to get increase to your minion damage, or increase to your minion skills, very important. And we also have a large boost over there, 50% increase to spirit. Really, really good early on, because early on your spirit is limited. And then as well on this shield, I think we're actually going to keep using this shield. We've been using this shield since level 7. I could highly suggest this while you're leveling. Pick yourself up this Sergeant Crest. I believe it's like 2 or 3 exalts to actually buy this. So really, really cheap. You should get that in the leveling process. And it gives you 50 spirit over there. So plus 50 spirit is a whole nother arsonist, plus almost another cleric if you really want it, or it could get you closer to a second arsonist. So that I think arsonist starts out at like 41 or 42. That's 1 whole arsonist you get from the shield, as well as getting a shield, so you are pretty tanky because you have the block chance and everything. So I would highly suggest picking that up early to level with. And then this as well, the dark defiling rattling scepter. We had this while leveling. We picked this up at level 36. We actually found this one ourselves, and we did corrupt it to get a little bit boost of spirit there. So really nice. This thing, I believe this was working with Unearth, like summon minion dogs. It says they gain 3% damage as chaos damage per undead minion. I'm pretty sure all of our minions are undead, because I don't think any of them are living, or you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure they're all undead, so I'm pretty sure this does give us a boost. Everything, it did feel like it was, and we pretty much used this all the way up to right now, level 69, where I just bought the scepter over here to get us into early mapping. So this thing does feel really strong. We might actually come back and visit this again to see if we can get a higher level one and try this out some more. And then lastly, this chest over here I could suggest to you guys as well. I think this is also like 1 exalt to buy one if you really wanted to. We got 100 extra spirit, and this has no level requirement. I literally put this on at level 1. So at level 1 we had 100 spirit, and then at level 7 we had 150 spirit. So you definitely want to try and get these things, like get your hands on these. They're really, really cheap, and it gives you a massive boost while you are leveling up your witch. And you can also get Spirit on your amulet. We've actually found this one, Energy Shield, Spirit. That's pretty bad. I mean, all the stats there are pretty dead except for like the Spirit and the Energy Shield. Everything else is kind of whatever, but it is nice because it's giving us a massive boost to strength, so we don't need to pick up any strength nodes. And then that Spirit as well, that's almost maxed out at, I think 50 is the max on there, or 50, and then you might get it on the top implicit as well. So really nice there. Just stack as much Spirit as you can, and then your chest, we actually have this weird chest on that we're playing with now, just to try it out a little bit, but this doesn't really seem to do much. So as soon as we hit 70, we're going to pick up that other chest. We're going to grab another 50 Spirit, so that's going to put us at 56 Spirit, so we can probably summon another Arsonist and another Cleric. So we're going to have, how many? I think we're going to have 9 Arsonists. Yeah, we'll have 9 Arsonists and 3 Clerics. So we're going to have a whole friggin' army after us, but maybe even drop like an Arsonist and a Cleric and try and summon some other minions, because we do still have another skill slot, which I'm not sure what we're going to put in there, but we'll definitely have to have a look going forward. Oh, and one last thing, don't forget movement speed on your boots. It changes your life. Trust me, get movement speed boots. You want to have movement speed boost, and then a really cheap exalted, or what do you call these things? We're using these pretty much as soon as we hit level 11. We're using these, the rat sandals. So there you go. If you can't find anything else, I believe these probably are maybe 1 exalt. So look, so yeah, 1 exalt. So there you go. If you don't have any of those, grab yourself some little sandals. There's some level. These also have movement speed on them. There's a lot of like really weird uniques that you can find. This I pretty much all found. I haven't bought any of these uniques. I found these all myself. So these are like my leveling stash, because that's pretty much what these uniques are useful for. Leveling, so don't miss out on them. A lot of weird uniques with like, you know, movement speed. This one, and then as well this shield. That's going to be it for this video though. I feel like it's gone on long enough. Stay tuned to the channel. Pretty soon we'll be bringing out like the next, you know, version of the Switch build, once we actually get into like T10 and 15 maps around there. I'm pretty sure we'll get there really fast, as I mean, we literally just got done leveling and we went straight into a T6-7 map, and she, you know, had no issues at all, which is extremely strong and extremely easy to play. I would highly suggest it for anybody new to these kind of games, or anybody struggling at all. You just want an easy time, come ahead and play a witch. Merry Christmas everybody, and I hope you have a happy new year. I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Augiesaint now.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the